the whole thesis about the crime that led to it and why that got these guys trapped in this short squeeze that didn't actually ever squeeze, and they tried to pretend like it did and tried to trick us all into leaving, and then everyone was like, nah, fuck you, I'm not leaving. I like put the whole thesis into one 10-minute video. And I think that the funny magic of it all is like, you couldn't plan this kind of shit out. I mean, maybe you could, but like the fact that it's a company called GameStop, the fact that like the people that were short selling it throughout the years and years leading into this thing, they had done that already to lots of other companies. Like that was a recurring strategy that they had developed in order to loot companies from the inside out and profit off of shorting them into bankruptcy. And GameStop was just their next target. So when accidentally some random dude on the internet that likes to like live stream with a red headband, who he would literally live stream to like 4 people, Deep fucking Value was like the most humble dude ever. And he just was like, I like this company and I'm going to buy it. And then while he was in the process of doing that, then this like entrepreneur comes out of nowhere and is like, I'm going to buy this company and turn it around. And he bought in and kicked out all the people that they had planted in the company to mismanage it into the ground.
Whoa.
And he started to turn it all. Yeah. It was a whole, so there's a whole aspect of the GameStop thing where they were already, they had infiltrated the company and they were mismanaging it from the inside out and gutting it for money outwards. And then their friends were all short selling it downwards. So they had this like dual 2-part attack. And then they have media buddies that are writing bad articles about it to make everyone be like, oh, it's going down, it's time to sell. So the price just goes all the way down. And what they do is then when they short sell the price all the way down into bankruptcy and the stock goes away, they never have to close any of those short sales out, and it's all tax-free gains because it's not technically capital gains because you never actually close the trade. It's just free money.
Holy
and they've
shit.
done it over and over to multiple companies. They did it to Sears. Pier 1 Imports is a likely candidate. They first learned they could do that kind of thing, I think, at Toys R Us, though they did it slightly less cohesively.
Motherfuckers. You fuck Toys R Us.
Toys R Us.
Yeah.
Imagine what kind of scumbag you got to be.
That's my child.
You have to be Mitt Romney.
Mitt Romney did it?
It was Bain Capital that took down Toys R Us. It was not Bain Capital that did GameStop. That is a whole different cadre of people. But when Bain Capital first took down Toys R Us, it was one of the first examples of sort of like they bought into the company using the company itself as leverage. They barely put up any money. They bought into Toys R Us and said, we'll put up part of the business that we're about to own as collateral on the loan to get the money to buy the business that we're about to put. It was like this, it's called a leverage buyout. It's the most insane concept ever. And then they gutted the company from the inside out, sold off all the properties to their buddies, did massive share buybacks to pay the money back out to themselves, and just basically like ran it into the ground and then left with billions of dollars. And everyone else was looking in and they were like, fuck, dude, that was a really smart strategy. Like, I should do that too. And then you enter the era of vulture capitalism where that's like a legitimate market strategy is to find a company to prey on, infiltrate it, buy it out, and then gut it for parts and leave.
That's just evil, dude, and I mean, but that's just at the core. Fractional reserve banking is the most diabolical, brilliant fucking thing ever. And if it didn't destroy humanity and put a lot of people into pain and suffering, you'd be like, that's the smartest shit I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah, it's a Shark Tank.
It sure is.
We can't be surprised we got sharks. You know what I mean? They made the Shark Tank.
Yep.
Holy shit. And even if you got to that level, I guarantee you they would just slowly figure out a way to get you out of the circle.
Yep.
And just,
but before we move on from it, the beauty of that whole thing is that they create these rule systems. They create the Shark Tank, right? So that they can gobble people up. They can play the game how they want. But the funny irony is that they didn't, what the GameStop people realize is that there's a really simple rule that's just the basic part of the market structure that kind of beats their game, because you can't force me to sell something. Like, you can't force me to sell the shares you need. And part of their strategy, which they've never gotten caught doing before, and they have like, it's a 3-part system. It's like they have the media on their team, they have insiders in the company. It's like, why would they even be worried about getting caught? But they didn't realize that like all that short selling like can be beaten if there are thousands and thousands and thousands of buyers that will not sell. And then normally you would use the media to get them to sell, but we see through that now. And so it's like the most simple cheat code ever is like, we just buy and we hold, and they're trapped in this massive billions and billions and billions and billions and billions worth of dollars that they need to close, and they can't because we have all their shares.
Oh, man.
And that's why the stock's been so crazy. That's why it's called a meme stock, is because it doesn't behave like it should, because there's all this crazy secret pressure on it trying to like make it explode all the time. And that's why it just exploded again this week. And we're all still holding because fuck them.
Good.
Yeah, they can go to jail.
Johnny, have you held or you sell?
Oh, I sold already.
Oh, come on, you
I got in and out
scumbag.
fast. Yeah, it popped
You
30 and
scumbag.
30%. I mean, sorry, 100%. I'm up 100% and I was out.
And I mean, no shame on people that are taking gains for their family and stuff. I just don't want to because, like, I'm here to fuck these people up.
I love
And
it. I'm buying it right now.
Well, I didn't know
just to
anything about
join
them
you.
actually infiltrating the company. I didn't
and I mean,
know
and not
about that.
financial advice, obviously, but like, it's anyone could just buy a share, to hold a part of history.
Yeah.
Because, like, collectively, these are the people ruining our economy. These are the people tied into the destruction of our whole, like, our lives. And it's such an easy way to just, like, be a part of the story that is fucking them in the ass right now.
I had no idea about them actually infiltrating that company with
wild.
people. Like,
Yeah,
Johnny,
it's on
why
my,
are you such a
you guys should check
sellout?
out the video that I put out. It's the top of my TikTok and the top of my
I
X
will.
feed right
I
now.
will.
After this stream, you guys should check it out later today. It's
Yeah,
fucking, it
definitely.
kind of lays that whole scheme out piece by piece and makes it really clear that, like, there's lots of evidence that this is like a criminal cartel that is sort of, because all those pieces are legal on their own. It's just that once they realize that they were all friends and they all like to profit off of companies dying at the same time, it's like, why don't we just, like, do it together?
The